it's interesting when you look at characters who for 8 years have really just had to worry about themselves, or maybe they're, whoever they're romantically involved with. But when the kids entered the picture, it just felt to me like there was a whole other world of choices, and a whole other world of threat, and a whole other world that's going on, and that's sort of, I think, what drove Brooke and Julian this year.
And it's huge because, particularly for someone like Brooke, who is such a visceral character and who is very ferocious in protecting people she loves, she's that way to her best friends, and she'll defend anybody to the death. So imagine when it's your kid. It was a very interesting journey for me to take to really think about what kind of a mother Brooke Davis would be as a protector, and what lengths she would be willing to go to for her children. It's very intense, but it was a beautiful journey to sort of see that through for her.
Yeah, it's like Sophia she's directed some episodes now, as most of the actors have, and she's really professional and prepared, and she comes with good ideas. Did that sound sarcastic?
They're laughing because they've seen my binder.
Exactly. She's very prepared, and she comes in as an actor and as a director. And so the writers, having had 9 years of writing for Brooke Davis, they know where they can set the bar. And I think we set the bar in some really great places for you this year, personally, and for Brooke Davis. And, you've exceeded every time. But what else you got? What else you got? I thought you had a great season.
Well, and Sophia and Bethany, I think the fans are so invested in the lives of your characters. They've been watching forever, and they love your characters. But what can you guys say about where they end up? Were you satisfied with where, Haley and Brooke's journeys end at the end of the series? Or maybe you think the fans are going to enjoy it?
Absolutely.
I agree. It's a really special thing, and for all the, I don't want to say insanity or darkness. I don't want to make it sound like it's that dark, but for all of the intensity that comes with the season, you get to the end, and I remember I was blown away. They gave me 12, which is our second to last episode, as a director. So that made me cry. And everything makes me cry. I was like, this is really, you want me to do it? Okay. And then I got the script, and every page I turned, I cried. I was like, this is so great. Everyone's going to be so happy. This is beautiful. I got to I cried every day on set. I was like, this is perfect. God, I was a wreck. And I was like, you know what? If I'm sobbing this much all day long, looking at the way that we're wrapping this up, I just think everybody's going to feel it in their heart the way that we all did. It's really special, and it's really beautiful, and it's great.
Yeah, there were a lot of tears at the end of the season, and I think in part because we've all spent, what's interesting about this thing right now is that we've actually spent more time apart than we ever did for 9 years. We haven't seen each other for the last month or so, and a couple months, and that's rare because everybody's been in each other's lives, other than Tyler. Consistently. Nobody talked to Tyler at all when he was but there were a lot of tears because of that, because just on a human level, we've all been together for so long. 187 episodes is a long time. But at the same time, thank you. At the same time, the show, I didn't want to just look back this season. I just felt like when we did look back, and we do, we bring back some old characters. We're going to see Lucas this year. We're going to see Deb. There's a bunch of characters that come back that the audience will be happy to see. But at the same time, I wanted to look back to move forward. So anytime we looked back, and anytime we winked at a fan who might have been watching the show from day one, it was to set up something that was active and something that was new and a new surprise and something that was evolving to move us forward. So I think we did that, and I think that the tears were shed for all the right reasons at the end of it.
Jackson, I don't feel like we've gotten to you down there. What's Jamie up to this season? Any fun teases?
I think he's just being Jamie like he is.
He's got a lot going on with Grandpa Dan.
Yeah.
with Jackson, it used to be when Jackson was younger, I would just ask him like what he really wanted to do. I'd be like, what do you want to do? And he's like, the ice cream scene was fun. So, Jamie would eat ice cream like, every episode. And then one day you said, can Skills and I hang out more? And I was like, great, you'll hang out with Skills more. But, as he's grown up, I remember we were actually shooting a scene, I was directing it, and I said, it was late, it was a Friday, and I just wanted to shoot, I didn't want to turn the camera around, I just wanted to shoot one direction and go home. And you talk to these guys, and it's like, look, if you just cheat out a little bit, I won't have to turn the camera around. It's Friday, and everyone's like, great.
We should, look at each other side by side in this scene, right?
Yeah, exactly. And everyone's like, that feels perfectly natural. Let's get out of here. Jackson, I remember the day Jackson was like, this feels weird. And I said, yeah, but Jackson's like, no, it's weird. I would do this. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Let's turn the camera around. But it actually made me smile because I was like, it's not like let's just tell Jackson what to do. He's evolving as an actor too, and he's got his own thoughts, and he comes in with ideas. And I was like, he's right. He's actually right in this one.
To be honest, when I first came back, one of the people I was excited to meet was Jackson. Actually, I don't think I told him this, but I was talking to Austin when I first.
You too, man.
Yeah. and I saw these scenes between you and Austin. I was like, man, that guy is hilarious. Like his timing is great. He's just this handsome dude. He's like not just a kid on the show. He's just a hilarious comic relief. I thought he was so talented. I was really excited to get to meet him and hang with him this season, actually.
Oh. Thank you.
And I also think that as I talked about parents and the fact that, a lot of the actors became young parents, that extra step of grandparent. In this first episode, Jack didn't have a lot to do, but that moment when he says Grandpa Dan and Dan scoops him up, you know that Haley's in a weird position because she knows what great affection her son has for his grandfather. And, when Nathan walks in at the end and Dan is in the house with Lydia, I just love the dynamic of, okay, well, we know how our son feels about him, we know how we feel about him, and there's there's just some stuff he's not going to understand. I like that dynamic for them, and we'll see more of that this season, and that Jack had a lot to do with that.
Now, before we open up to fan questions, which we will, and I think there's mics on both sides if you guys want to line up or start lining up, anyone who has questions. Mark and I talked earlier today, and we thought it might be fun to have you guys, reveal some outlandish moments that, stand out to you in the history of the show. Obviously, the one that always comes to fans' minds are the dog eating poor Dan's heart. Are there any moments in your
What's outlandish about that?
My favorite anecdote about the dog eating the heart, which I wrote and was giddy to shoot. And everyone was like, we've jumped the shark. And I said, we jumped the shark years ago. What are you talking about? But Joe Davola directed that episode. And I will never forget, originally it was a different dog. They had brought a different dog that was supposed to eat the heart. And I'll never forget Joe sending the video back of him working with the dog. And the dog's name was Catfish. And it had no interest in eating the heart whatsoever. And it was just standing there, and then you hear Joe off camera going, the frickin' treat's right there, Catfish. He's like, get the treat, Catfish, come on. And he's like, he's not going to eat it. He's not going to eat it.
It's a real pig's heart, by the way.
It was, exactly. And then...
The dog ate 5 of them.
Well, then cut to a different dog. And then I think we brought Catfish back in a different scene because we felt bad that he got replaced. I don't know, the cast has a lot of fun. There's a little bit of pranking going on, but in terms of scenes, Rob.
Pranking. Rob.
Bit of bounce.
Yeah.
We sang a lot. We did a lot of singing. I think that my favorite, or one of my favorite moments of the season was hands down, thanks to the writers, the eating of 6 crackers in a minute, which, if you've ever tried, I think is physically impossible. And we got to, that was your episode, right? So
I almost did it.
that's what I'm saying.
Last season, actually.
Oh, my favorite episode of any of my seasons, excuse me. But that was one of my best moments, because all the laughter in that was so genuine, because we were just scooping up cracker all over each other.
I was supposed to keep a